It doesn't mean to have multiple drafts of a novel. My name is Jean. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing. So there are a couple of different ways to go about doing this, two of which I think are actually pretty normal. One I think is totally and completely unhinged, but even within the normal ones, there is one that I think is a better idea. First, the two that I think are pretty normal, even though I think one is a better idea than the other. So you open up a Word document and you start typing and you save that as draft 0 and you typity type all the way until you are done and you have a completed book. And then you go up and you hit save as. And you're going to say, first of all, you're saving constantly all along the way and you have it backed up to the cloud. You have this in multiple places. You are protecting your work. And then you're going to go up and you're going to go save as, and you're going to type draft 1. And so draft 0 is always going to sit there in your folder. It's always going to be completed exactly as it is. And you're going to go in and you're going to start making changes all over draft 1. The reason that I recommend doing it this way is so that if you get part way through your edits and you're like, oh, I broke it, I messed it up, you can go and retrieve the pieces that you need to from draft 0 and you're going to be okay. You're going to do a bunch of these revisions. And so in your folder, you're going to have draft 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it takes to get this thing to a point where it is completely polished. Don't worry about how much space these things take up. They take up very minimal space on your hard drive in comparison to all the other stuff you have out there. The other way that people do this that I think is a little bit of a worse way is that they start typing in their Word document and they hit save, and then they go through and they make a bunch of changes and they hit save, and they're always working in the same document, which means once you make a change, it's gone, like it's there forever. If you delete something and hit save, it's gone. It's gone forever. And you're going to push back immediately and be like, ha ha ha, I use cloud-based docs, I use Google Docs or Word Online or whatever. But those have version history. So if you go through and you are making a bunch of changes, let's say you make 37 changes and you only want to undo change number 12 and number 4, you can't do that. You have to revert to a previous version, which means you have to jump all the way back to 4, and now you've lost changes 5 through 37 that you actually wanted to keep. So I still recommend, even if you are using Google Docs, that you make a copy, leave that original draft sitting there so you can go back and pull pieces of it rather than having to revert to an entire version. The third way that I think is totally unhinged, but there are people out there who swear by this method and they say that it works for them. And again, I'm going to reiterate, if there's a thing that works for you, you should keep doing it and ignore everything I say. But this is a thing that is out there. Some people will write their entire draft and then delete it and start from scratch without anything in the new document. The idea here being that they're only going to remember the good parts and everything that was trash is going to be forgotten. And so they start over from scratch on every single draft, or at least on draft 2. That doesn't make any kind of sense to me, but hey, you do you. Have fun.